deck boards become weak if they're more than 2 foot on center. So I'm going to make the ramp up here 2 feet. I think this is one of those things where if you were living in a real house and you had something that was 2 feet wide to walk on, probably be against every code in the book. But remember, this is a deck. This is an off-grid property in the middle of the top of a little hill in the middle of nowhere where there are no rules. So I'm going to try to do that, I think. And now I need 3 boards cut at 1 foot 9 inches because these boards together are 3 inches. I left the saw at the thickness to cut plywood and didn't realize it. That's why I was having trouble cutting through them. So I'm going to cut both these boards at 7 foot 3 inches, and then I'm going to screw them together 2 feet apart, and then I'm going to attach them back to that tree stump and see where to go from there. We'll see. So I got these all cut. I got to remind myself what I was doing. My neighbor stopped by, and sometimes it's just really good to have another person to walk 16 feet out. But we put the stake in the ground and kind of measured out where the post would go. If I did a house that was 24 by 16, which is 12 by 16 for the inside and 12 by 16 for the porch. And I don't know, it looks like a good size, but it also, essentially I'm going to measure out there, but it looks like if I'm 18 inches off the ground here, I'm going to be something like 4.5 to 5 feet off the ground over there, which means above, I'm darn near 20 feet high when you get into the roof to work on the house and everything, which is kind of scary, but we'll figure that out. Yeah. Yeah. All right, let's go back to building the bridge. My thought is I'm going to put it together somewhat here, and then I'm going to go build it onto the deck over there. I don't know if the camera just caught that. That's something that has happened 4 or 5 times to me. Essentially, you screw in and the screw hits a nail that's already in the board. When it happens, it takes you a second to realize what's happening, and then you're like, oh, this isn't going to work. So I'm flipping the board over. That's how it's supposed to go. I'm going to try a very different spot. I almost dumped the camera. So I left the ends because I feel like I'm going to nip those off at a ramp to make them like this, where I can ease into the log at the foot of the log, but we'll see. I'm going to go lay it over there and see how it fits. It's sliding in here pretty well. I put a ledger board on the deck itself for these two 2x6s to hit on, and then they're resting on the log and they're attached to both of those stumps. So it's a little bit uneven, and I think I'm just gonna nick. I don't know. In my mind, I think if I nick this little piece off right here, it'll go even for me. And it really does. It feels great where it slides into place and everything kind of works. And I just screw a nice little lock into that log too. So, I mean, I've been worried about how this was going to come together right here. But just notching that a little bit, it's going to put the, I mean, I can almost step straight onto it, but we'll see. It might be a little lip. Now, right when I set this down on the left-hand side, right by my head right there, it's about a half an inch too high. So I have to take off the ledger board underneath there and even it out, and then basically just put the the ledger board back on, and then it's hitting it's actually hitting flush on both sides with that deck. So my thought is, as I work my way down, it's gonna be angled one way or another, and we'll see. I had to adjust this corner down to make it so it was flush. I think that so I mean, okay, so let me try to figure out how to say this. I think that because the way that the ground is here, I notched it. I don't think that this is going up completely even to the deck. Yeah, so there might be, if I put a level on, no, I'm not going to put a level on it, but if I put a level on it from there to there, I feel like the top is level, but when you get down to this ramp, it's going to be a little bit this way. You know what I mean? But I don't think it's not anything you can see with your eye. It's just something that you pick up when you're trying to line everything up square. So I'm not too worried about it. I'll probably end up chainsawing. I mean, I like this here because of the moss and everything, but I'll probably end up chainsawing that. A couple of things. People do not like the fact that I have the bark on the logs. They're saying the ants get into it and will cause ants to get to the deck. So you might see me hacking away. I might get a tool to take the bark off and just slowly take the bark off on that. We'll see. Probably start at the bottom so that the bugs don't see it down there. I don't know. We'll see. I went over to my buddy's house and he's using trees as the timbers to hold the roof up and everything. And man, when they're cleaned off and they're treated right, whoo, do they look pretty. But it also looks like it would take more time to do one log than my entire tiny house. So we'll see how much I get into that. I could see you getting addicted to having every piece of wood look so beautiful, where it's a year and a half of collecting logs before you even build anything. So, yeah. I find getting started is a pain in the butt. But most of the cutting's done when you push down. So if you pull up really lightly, it doesn't skid around. So you can kind of get a little start by pulling up. And it is what it is. And you just try to follow the damn line, you know? Might need one more, but we'll see. We will see. One more board, I think. River, come here. You tired? You look tired as hell. Come here. What do you think? No, go this way. Yeah, come on. You're limping on your cut, buddy. You're a good boy. You see that? Looks good. Is it sore? Are you sore? So this is what happens when they're a little bit, the bottom is a little cockeyed. You get these little steps where you can see the board. The board isn't like, the board is basically going a little bit like this on the ramp because of the angle. And the way I'm gonna fix it is I'm just gonna run a chalk line. You can you can pick it up on these three pieces the best. Yeah. So even though they're pushed up against each other, they're at an angle, right? So I'm gonna run a chalk line and then saw the whole line even, and you won't pick up any anymore. It'll almost look like it's just curved. So it should be, yeah. And then when I do that, I'll pick up the blade so it's just cutting the width of the 5/8 inch of the board. So you don't have a risk of cutting the actual joist. He's down there. Yeah, the only other way I could think of fixing it is just changing the gap where they're not touching or where the gap is different. But either way, I'm going to run a saw along it and you won't catch it when we're done. This is just working out good. And then here's how it looks to walk into the RV. Log step. How's Senior thinking about running a branch from here to here to be a hand railing? I need it to be, it's going to be 6 feet, but I want to get one that's 7 feet long to go in here. And I want it to, I'm going to use this, I think it's ants took this part out of here before I cut down the tree. So I'm going to cut a half circle in here and have the branch kind of fit right in there. And then it's going to go up to the V that's in there, right? And I think I'm going to try to cut this so it's even too. And this is flat, and then I'll have a board sit on here and go to the tree to be something you could actually put drinks on or something. A hand railing that is flat. And then, but as I was thinking that, I thought, it would be so great if I had a piece of driftwood. And I'm like, well, why don't River and I just go look for a 7-foot piece of driftwood? It's a beautiful day. For all those people who don't use chainsaws, it's harder than you think to chainsaw something flat. It's a skill. I think it's an acquired skill. I'm getting better at it, but I'm not perfect at it. So it takes me a couple go around. All right, this is my plan. I'm gonna move this. I'm gonna put this underneath here. I'm gonna lower it down until I see it's level. I'm gonna screw it in, and Bob's your uncle. If you're watching all the way up till now and you haven't hit the like button, please do so. You know you like it if you're watching 17 minutes of a 26-minute video. Hit that button for me. Thank you. Trust the level, Martin. It doesn't look level to me. We're going to trust it. This is my plan. I put a screw in here. So when I flip it sideways, that screw's going to catch for me and it's going to hold this side of the board. And I'm going to go over here and I'm going to screw in this screw. And it'll be a flat board going along the bottom to give this enough so you can lean on it. And then that's going to be I guess that's my little bar where you can set tools and you can set your drinks and what have you. And then I'm going to show you why basically this board right here is going to have a piece cut out of it, and there'll be a bolt sitting here that allows the board to go this way and that way without being tightened down. And that will allow that tree to move that way and this way and then left and right as well without moving the log, the bridge, and the post over here. All right? And basically these two, I have to run a rope from there to there or a hammock or something, because as soon as I tie those together, it'll be two pieces tying the trees together and it'll wreck itself during any storm. So, yeah. And then I can kind of do the same thing on this side if I'd like. I almost want to build a privacy fence right on this side, but we'll see how that works. That's another episode. So that's solid as a rock. I can't move that. And when I go to the hardware store in the next week, I'm going to buy 8-inch or 12-inch timber screws to redo these screws so they're going further into the tree. And then I'll also buy, you know, one or probably 4 more lag bolts so I can cut that oval out of here and have that lag bolt sit here for this one and the other side, and then just have a couple just to be able to do that if I need to. But look how sturdy this is. It's not moving at all. And that's just one screw. I'm going to go ahead and put like 4 or 5 more screws in. But you can just lean on it. This is bagging for my cup of coffee. Come up here. The sun's going to come up. Put my cup of coffee right there and just boom. You know how many mornings I'm going to do that? I could grow old doing that. It's perfect. We're going to go find a piece of driftwood to go from there to there. That's 6 feet long or more. It's kind of something me and River and I are going to do today. Came to the beach to get this one right here. But now that I look at it, it's already rotten too much. He's so excited to be on a beach and running. I have little wipes that I'm gonna have to clean his paw with, but the vet said he's gotta start being a dog. But look at this one anyways. Look at this. Calm down, buddy. Driftwood right here. Perfectly straight. It's solid. I'm gonna cut it off right here. Here and here. And then we'll take it from there and we'll cut it when we get back to the property. And yeah, I'm excited. That's going to be a perfect railing. Look how straight it is. Alright, let's go. This piece right here is going to make the coolest railing. I'm so excited that I found it. It almost is like a railing. And then, I don't know if you're going to be able to hear me because of the wind. And then I found this board, which we're going to make a table out of, on top of the 2 stumps. So I'm excited about that too. I'm almost excited. I mean, what time is it? Let's see here. It's 3:40. I'm kind of tempted to go back to the property and do the railing. I'm a little bit tempted to do that. Property round 2. I got excited. I want to see how this fits. I think it's going to be more than just one railing. It should be pretty cool. And I'm really excited about that rough cut board too. So now I also want to show you guys. This is going to be the first time you guys are going to see how the sun is setting right now. See how my deck just looks right at it. And as the summer goes, the sun moves a little bit more that way. Pretty cool. I gotta put some railings up for him. River is crazy now that we're back here again. Okay, so my plan is to cut this like so, and then notch this around it so I can come in here and screw it to that. That's my plan. We'll see how that works. All right, let's see if that fits in there. I mean, okay. Some things are working out really good for me. All right, this is pretty solid. Oh, very solid. It's pretty good. I could saw this flatter, I think. I might take another go at it with a chainsaw. This is a beaver stick. So it's chewed on that end. It's chewed on that end. The reason why it's chewed is because the beaver can haul that size wood very easily. It takes it underwater and stows it, and then eventually it will eat the bark off of it when it's hungry, but it's where it keeps it for a snack. Once it eats the bark up, it lets it go out of the mud so you can actually, it floats up. And there are hundreds of these everywhere along the river. And I think I can use them to do my posts, to do my railing on my deck.